Welcome back to another video, guys. In this video, I'm going to be explaining the Cedar Hollow's entire kitchen, giving a full cost breakdown, itemizing everything, and I've also built out a spreadsheet down below where you guys could pretty much copy and paste into Amazon and IKEA and order this entire kitchen setup down to the plates and utensils and everything. When designing the kitchen, I knew it had to be budget friendly because this is just a tiny home and I didn't want to spend over $40,000 like I did at the Pacific Bin. Now, I did use IKEA cabinets throughout the entire kitchen here, and they cost just over $3,400, which compared to what I did at the Pacific Bin, granted the Pacific Bin's kitchen is quite a bit bigger, it was over $25,000 for all custom cabinets. Starting on the left over here, we have a full-size pantry. It would be 2 cabinets tall, but I ended up putting a lock on this cabinet because that's where I store a lot of my Airbnb supplies. Next to the pantry, we have the panel-ready refrigerator and freezer. So you can see we got the freezer, the fridge up here, and it's not a full-blown panel-ready refrigerator where the panel's actually integrated into the fridge. You almost build like a cabinet, set the refrigerator in there, screw it in with all of IKEA's anchor points, and then you install this door, just like a normal cabinet face, and then you use these little slides that attach to the door. So it's a really cool way to get that high-end look where everything matches in the kitchen without breaking the bank. Plus, this even comes with extra storage, which in tiny homes, storage is key. So working our way down, we have 3 banks of drawers here just for supplies. I got cutting boards, tin foil, all that good stuff in there. We have a sink basin, which that $3,400 does include the sink basin from IKEA, and it did include a faucet as well, which I ended up stupidly breaking the faucet when I was installing it. So I had to go buy a new one, but I'll get to that in a bit. Next to the sink, we get another set of drawers, which we have the pots and pans in there. Then we have all the knives in these drawers, and then all the silverware up here. And then working our way all the way over, we have all of the spices. I don't know if you can see that, but I love having tons of clean looking spices. Under that, we have all the cooking utensils here, and then just more storage under there for more pots and pans and baking goods and all that good stuff. Overhead, we have a full bank of cabinets, which you can see all the shelves aren't even fully stocked because there's actually a decent amount of storage in this house. Like, I was able to fully load the kitchen and still have a couple shelves left over. And over there, we have the vent, all of the olive oil, red wine vinegar, and the venting for the microwave, which we'll get to in a bit. Over here, we have all the plates, some serving Tupperware, first aid kit, the crock pot for those rainy, cozy days out here, all the glassware, and then bowls, serving bowls, a toaster, and then wine glasses. One super nice thing working with IKEA is that they have a 3D kitchen planner, which I have a link down below to all of the items in my kitchen, and also a couple of renderings that I used when designing the kitchen. But it was really nice having that 3D kitchen planner to play around with a few different designs until we locked it in with this final setup. It was also great working with IKEA because they do stock all of their kitchen supplies in their warehouses, and if it is back ordered, they're typically getting it within a few days. I think I got my entire kitchen shipped to the property within a week and a half of ordering, which is insane. I spent over 3 months waiting for my cabinets at the Pacific Bin. Next up is the 18-inch LG dishwasher, which cost me $750. Which I went with an 18-inch dishwasher just because 30 felt like overkill and I wanted as much cabinet storage space as possible. Plus, when you only have 2 people living here, really, you're not generating that many dishes. Plus, I did live here for a month while we were fine-tuning everything, and this was more than enough. So for everything you need to hook up the dishwasher itself, there's this $33 kit from Lowe's, which there's a little adapter that hooks up your water supply line. It includes your water supply line. Right off of the 3/8 PEX, you have this 3/8 line that goes in and attaches to the bottom of the dishwasher down there. And you'll also need the sink adapter, which is $5, which has this little stub off right here where the drain from the dishwasher ties into the sink, and you can see it goes out and goes through the 1.5-inch drain down there, which has this little stub off right here where the drain from the dishwasher ties into the sink to the dishwasher, so you're able to just plug the dishwasher into the wall. If I were to do this again, I would have my electrician put a second dedicated circuit back here. This dedicated circuit is for the dishwasher. This second one that I would get installed would be for a garbage disposal here, but we're on septic, so we don't have to worry about that here. But you can see that second thing that's plugged in on top is the sponsor of this video, which is Water Drop. So this Water Drop reverse osmosis water filter, which stubs up to this little guy right here, is a total game changer. So this water filter costs $500, and there's a link down below at the top of the description if you guys are looking to pick these up. I was blown away when we got this thing. We're on well water here at the Cedar Hollow and Pacific Bend. I was blown away when I got this water filter because it tells you the TDS out, which I wasn't exactly sure what that meant until I started researching a little bit. And TDS stands for total dissolved solids. So that's like particulate in your water. And I looked up an EPA chart, and it shows that normal tap water is in the 300 to 400 range of TDS, total dissolved solids, and that the EPA limit is 500 total dissolved solids in the water. But I thought something was wrong with the filter when it only read 3 TDS there, but then I looked it up. But that's the quality of water that comes out of this reverse osmosis filter. So the way this works is there's actually 3 stage filters. There's an RO, CF, and a CB filter. And you have to change these at different points throughout the year. I believe this one's a 6-month, this one's a 12, and this one's a 24-month filter. We're at 3 TDS, and when we tested the water initially, just coming out of the tap, we were in the 1 to 200 range. So that just shows you how much it actually scrubs and cleans the water here. Now, I was a little intimidated at first, not having hooked up plumbing stuff before, especially with this being hard lined in to my water system. But everything it comes with is the filter bay itself, the 3 filters, this little fitting back here, which you can see, it just takes your 1/2-inch water line and it tees off. So that line going up there goes into the back of my water filter here. And then that next line next to it is just the sink. So then this package did actually come with a different spigot here, but I switched it out so we'd have a black one that would match the kitchen faucet. The one that it ships with comes with this little screen on the front that reads out your TDS, which is just kind of cool to see that the water is just so stinking clean. Otherwise, you can just open the cabinets here and see the number right on the front. One huge selling point for me on this system is that it is a tankless reverse osmosis water filter. Some other brands have huge tanks where they filter up the water first and they store it in a tank and then they pump it out so you don't run out of water. But this tankless system is able to keep up to a rate of 600 gallons per day, which if you can drink more than 600 gallons per day, you have a problem. Which only having 24 inches in the sink bay here, not having to have a big tank system sitting under my sink is massive. So hooking this up is actually so simple and it makes so much sense. So you plug it into the wall back there, you plug this cord in here. This little chute plugs into the old display up here, but I don't have that, so I just unplugged that. But the way it works is this little T that WaterDrop provides takes this 3/8 water line and it plugs in right down here, and then this is the outlet water line which goes up to the faucet, and then this is the wastewater line, which that wastewater line, you just drill a tiny little hole in your sink drain and it expels all of the nasties that come out when it filters the water. And it just pushes it down into your septic tank. So you can see just how tight everything is in that 24-inch sink bay. This paper towel holder tucks in right there next to it. And then our little IKEA waste bin tucks in right there. And it is a perfect fit with the 24-inch sink base. So I want to thank WaterDrop for sponsoring this video, and if you guys want to pick one up, they're at the top of the description down below. Thanks, WaterDrop. Then I got the soap dispenser for $26 at Lowe's and this faucet for $179, which, like I mentioned, I broke the one that IKEA provides. I didn't know how to hook up sinks properly and I over tightened it and started leaking. Next up is this Samsung $1,200 induction cooktop and oven, and it is a full-size oven. It's none of those little skinny ones like you're seeing in little cheapo tiny homes, which for $1,200 getting an induction cooktop and a full oven felt like a steal to me. Which induction stovetops are super nice because you can boil water and heat things up super quick, and then when you actually remove them, if you let it cool for like 10-15 seconds, this is actually not cool to the touch, but it's warm and you won't burn yourself. For hooking up the range was a $40 package, which I bought from Lowe's. All you have to do is you hook those up to the back of the stove. There's 4 wires and it's a 4-prong hookup. You just have to make sure your electrician puts a 4-prong hookup directly behind where the stove's gonna go. So next up, we have this $250 Samsung microwave, which actually matches the range really well. They're both Samsung products. And then over top, we have this adapter right here that was $14, and then this 6-inch semi-rigid duct was $20. Some of these microwaves you can just vent inside, so it sort of just recirculates the air. But being in a tiny home, I wanted to make sure we adequately ventilate the space. And you can see on the flip side out here, that's where the 6-inch duct ties in, and that hookup was $20. So it just pulls all that humid air and dumps it outside. And then I also got a can of spray foam, which I packed all around there so the air doesn't leak into the house or leak out. through there, and I just sprayed all around the hole, and that was $5. And there's also 2 hose clamps, which were $7 total, some duct tape, which was a couple bucks, and I had a $10 can of black spray paint to spray paint the hood outside so it matches the rest of the house. These white quartz countertops were just under $2,200, which I used the Stone Brothers out here in Snohomish, which they are incredible. The time that they were able to get a guy out here, measure, and install was all within a week, which they mentioned that's a lot faster than normal, but they were able to hook me up. They were just incredible to work with, can't recommend them enough. So then for something that totally makes the kitchen and adds a whole other different aspect to it, are these LED lights, which the way I have it wired up is one switch controls the toe kick lighting, which is great for if you're watching a movie, it just adds a really nice ambient light. But if you're making some food, you have the under cabinet lighting, which really just illuminates the countertop. Which was just under $200 for all of my LED strip lighting here. That was 5 packs, which like I mentioned below, everything in the Google Sheet is itemized out, the total quantity, prices, and links if you wanna order them yourself. But it's actually pretty cool the way I had my electricians wire it. So these LEDs aren't hardwired in. I actually have outlets. So there's an outlet under here behind the toe kick, which I plug in one strip right there. And then on the other side over here, there's another outlet behind the toe kick back here, which I plug the driver in over here. So that runs this stretch, and that outlet runs that stretch, and those outlets are wired together and they're on this switch here. So same deal with this under cabinet lighting. I just have a switchable outlet right up here, and we just whip it down and have it run all the way along the backsplash. The tile backsplash I got from Floor & Decor, which they were just under $7 per 12-inch by 12-inch square, and then you just stack them up and only have to put spacers every 12 inches. So that total was $275. Then for the grout, it was $18 total. I used Latacrete 44, which I really like how the gray color brings out the white in each of the skinny tiles. So the total cost for this entire kitchen was $12,757, furnished and installed, well, installed by me. So there's no labor built in there. But every little thing that you see laying out here, fellow boiler cup, the fellow French press, and everything, down to the plates, the silverware, the utensils, everything that you see in this kitchen is on the Google Sheets down below. I did all the hard work for you. I went through all the websites. It's a fully loaded kitchen. I even have garlic mincers and you know, all that little stuff that you wouldn't normally think of. So you guys could go to the Google Sheets down below, order everything from it. Everything's on Amazon, which is super convenient for me because if it breaks being an Airbnb host, I just hop on Amazon and order it again. I hope this video helps you guys out a lot, makes you realize that you can build a really high-end kitchen for really not that much. $12,000 is a total steal. That's less than half in what I spent just on cabinets over at the Pacific Bin. So we'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.